All right, all praise to the Most High Yahweh and to His Son, my brother Amashiach Yahushai. Peace and blessings to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. All right, in this video, we're going to get into Ethiopia, different things dealing with the different ethnic groups and everything, the region. And I'm going to just give my overall thoughts on different things. Some stuff I looked over, some stuff I haven't. Uh, I'm gonna go from spot to spot, and I hope this video would edify any anybody that have any questions about certain content that I've already done before, dealing with Edom or Ham or Israel in general. So this region is an interesting place. My overall thoughts is still of this region being um, the home territory of Edom, one of the groupings of Edom is um, headquartered in this region, along with their allies. Other than that, are there scattered Israelites among these people? Yes. Um, how many? How much? We don't know. I'm just using DNA information to figure out who certain people are in this region, and other than that, I don't know the number. I just know, certain things that are dealing with DNA in general. So um, I just wanted to get into this video about Ethiopia because every time when the media is doing something to hype up something that is constantly on the cycle of the news, and you hear something about another situation that is going awful or wrong, and the media tend to not cover that story. Is a few stories, not even headlines, just a few stories every other 2 weeks about what is happening. So Ethiopia is having a crisis with a lot of stuff, with water supply, with the government, with the military, with other people groups not being too happy with the Ethiopian government and so on. So I was talking to a Nigerian brother from work a long time ago or a while back, but it's been a while, and I had an epiphany. I was telling him about DNA information that I was getting into, and I was telling him about physical traits and everything, and we was getting into some type of debate slash argument about it, and I had an epiphany. I was talking to him, and then I was like, I'm gonna text message you some information, so I'm gonna get off and find the information, text it to you, and was talking about something, and I had a epiphany, and the epiphany was like, Wait a minute. There's something about this E1B1A thing that is missing. I'm like, we are E1B1A. The other people are E1B1B. Um, I'm like, these are closely related people. They are not the same people. And even though I wasn't very good at DNA at the time, I was like, but if these was the same people, they'll just be in the same grouping. And DNA even show you uh, errors that these people tend to make when they are grouping people, and they'll rename the group, or they'll change it because of special interests. They try to conceal certain identities. So I was like, certain something is not adding up, because I'm like, well, if on the chart system you have white people in Africa, and white people in Africa are these people, and I started to look up, famous white people, and famous white people looked a certain way, and then you have other white people that looked another way, and then you have this E1B1B group of white people. I was like, something is not adding up about this information. So I was like, what if Edom is just a total different shade of unique complexion type of people? There are dark complexion people, but they are not considered black people. They just have dark complexion. And so um, that what hit me in my mind. I was like, hey, real quick, I was like, what do you think about hobby shop people? And I think he doesn't say much or anything about it. He probably um, said that they are his brothers as well. Um, Other than that, I was like, the hobby shop people, you know, I worked with an Ethiopian guy, and he was a hobby shop, but he was Ethiopian, and he had an interesting vibe about himself. And then I went to school with different groups of people from Africa, like Egypt, Ethiopia. I think I talked about this before: Ethiopia, Somalia, and so on. But um, the Egypt and Ethiopian people stood out, and the Somali people that I met in high school was more of the Hamitic type. You could tell these were just dark complexion, very dark complexion people that was tall. And then the Ethiopian people and the Egyptian people that I would meet, they would either be Caucasian type, or this interesting Habisha type of people. And Habisha is just one of those slang language of just saying these are Shemitic, certain um, Shemitic languages, or people that spoke Shemitic language within Ethiopia or that region. So it's just one of those slang languages of saying, "Are you a Shemitic person?" And I just use it to identify a certain type of Ethiopian group of people. And I say it because, like, in Houston, for example, in Houston, we have a very diverse city, and here in Houston, we have a big Hispanic population. So you have different ethnic groups dealing with Hispanic speaking people, and then you have an ethnic group of people that we classify as gypsies. As a Houston native, most of the time you could tell the difference between the two. You have sometimes some gypsies speak Spanish or Espanol. Other than that, they look very similar, but there's a different vibe and different thing that you know differ, differentiate from each other, or those groups of people. So the same thing with certain groups of Ethiopians, and that's where I compare the likeness to. If you ever in Houston, um, you'll easily um, see a gypsy grouping of people in a lot of the different places doing a lot of hustling. Um, Other than that, I'm not saying that the hobby shop people are hustlers or gypsies. I'm just saying, there's a certain look about these people that I'm associating hobby shop with that's very closely related to Edom. So, so Ethiopia is a landlocked country in East Africa on the Horn of Africa. It's surrounded by several different countries, and it's a major country in Africa, and they have a pride about themselves, dealing with never being conquered. But the only problem is uh, they do have heavy European ties. That's the irony for people that never been conquered. They do have heavy European ties. They do have heavy African ties. Other than that, um, these prideful people are known as undefeated because no European or Western country been able to colonize the country. So real quick, we're gonna get into the different ethnic groups. So as you can see, I already looked through some of this stuff, and I don't know how much of it I'm gonna look through, but I wanted to talk about certain groups. So this group right here, the Oromo people, as you can see, these are a Cushitic ethnic group, so they say, and then they have a Afro-Asiatic language, which means it's a Shemitic type of language, but these are ethnic Cushitic Hamitic people, and these are the regions that they, or the outside regions that they are populated in. So I could imagine, I know a few of these people because Houston have like a very sizable Ethiopian and Nigerian population, so this grouping of people will have a percentage of people that is dealing with M329. M329 is a later grouping of E1, B1, well, E1, B1, 2A, I want to say. That would be um, related to E1, B1A. So this grouping of people, some of them would be Hebrew Israelites. So we go back to the Amora people. Um, I think a lot of these Amora people, these are people that are dealing with high-end government officials and stuff, and different levels of high-powered Edomites and Japhetic people, and the same with the Tigray and the Somali people is just dealing with mostly Edom. These are not your native Hamitic Somalis. These are just Edom. Let me see if I could go into pictures. As you can see, remember this picture because we're gonna go into that E1B1A. We're gonna go into the YDNA charting of Africa after this to see what we are looking at. Let me see if I can find the picture. Oh yeah, here we go. I think this is where I wanted to go. So this grouping of people is not represented in the majority grouping of people. It's probably represented by others, but as you can see, this is the Afar. Let's go back a little bit. The Afar, 1% of the population, and then the Beha people is dealing with this others. So let's go back here. So Far people, these are another Cushitic grouping of people, Afro-Asiatic, meaning these are another Shemitic speaking group of people. And then you find this Beha people. I just want to go here because I want to make my point. So we're trying to focus on content, and categories of people, features, and stuff. So let's go into some pictures. I think it's on here. Notice how this person look. Of course, this person looks Afro-Asiatic. with the afro right there. Probably smoking something. It looks like, not sure. And you see this picture, very similar to the picture before of the other guy. And then I think there's some more pictures. If not, I'm gonna have to. I got some more picture of the, and they call this person a Hamite, Bisharin Hamite. And I don't think this is the one. I have to go back, but the pictures was needed to make my point. Let's see, maybe this one. Okay, now here we go. So we are getting into these pictures, and you see the children. Now I want to, and then you see somebody ruler or chief. Now here go the picture. So when I'm talking about Habisha, this is the certain grouping of people type that I'm talking about. They have a unique, distinct vibe about them and a look, like a very proudful look. And then this is a famous traditional dish that they eat, you know. So I remember when I was on Facebook and I was getting into finding out information about different African cultures, and I was well aware of who Edom is at this time. I downloaded pictures from this I think it was modern Ethiopia or something. It was like a few pages that I liked about Ethiopia to catch the essence of Edom. You know, and at this point, you know, I was like, okay, all Ethiopians are Edomites, and a small percentage was um, dealing with Hamitic people that was faking being Jewish or Jews, and the person that ran the page, they had like very good pictures of certain things, and often in different videos I use some of those pictures of them practicing their religion up in the mountains. Like these are mountainous people, like a lot of, like, we don't know, but Ethiopia is very mountainous. It's a very mountainous region. Some parts are desert, some parts are very green and lush, but it's a mountainous country, and they have all these chapels or churches or cathedrals or caves up in the mountains to where they worship, you know, all these Orthodox um, Christians. They have like these high mountain churches, and I was like, man, this is like really the vibe of Edom, you know. This is the vibe of Obadiah, you know. And so, and then I saw this dish with the raw meat. I was like, oh man, you know, I know certain people have an understanding of the birthright scripture of the porridge being just red lentil, not raw meat. Um, but even if that's the case, even if there wasn't meat in the porridge or the food that Esau wanted to eat, this this right here, when I saw other pictures of this raw meat habit, I was like, oh man, these are definitely the people that are related to Esau because yes, they probably got the seasoning and spices right, but the raw meat, we can't do that. And most of us won't do this, but these people, these dark complexion people, it's a traditional raw beef dish. White people do this most of the time at steakhouses. Not just that, I work at a grocery store, and I've seen people go into the store, the meat market, buy something, and come back into the dining room area that we have for the prepared food section, and they literally would eat raw meat, and I'm like, okay, and most of these people have interesting looks about them, like a very deficient look about their paleness, they're um, looking very pale, and they look like themselves like they are vampires. So I just wanted to share with you these pictures. Now this right here, now this guy wouldn't be considered Habisha. I'm just referring to a certain look, even though there's a lot of Ethiopian people that look just like him or just like our people. But this is not the look that I'm talking about. It's this look. Not even that look, even though he could be Edom. Not even this look, you know. Just that one look. And I think I'll probably show some more pictures. I'm not sure. But that's what I wanted to share with y'all with that information. Let's see anything else before we get into. As we know, they believe in the lie of Solomon and Queen Sheba. I don't believe there's any ancestry at all with that dynasty at all with Israel. I think Selassie was just Edom. I think Gaddafi as well was Edom. History, um, not much. A lot of the stuff that I wanted to get into is dealing with their modern day warfare stuff, but not so much this. Let's see, go back. Let's see, famous people, notable government. Uh, I guess they do that under their ethnic groups. the Greek name uh, Ethiopius and Ethiopian is a compound word derived from the two Greek words from something. The designation properly translate as burnt face and noun form and red brown and adjective. And that literally what they are, red brown complexion people. And burnt face is probably just referring to that complexion type, not literally like burnt crisp, but this certain unique complexion type. Um, so real quick, I wanted to get out of this and go into here. YDNA of Sub-Saharan Africa. So we've been here before. For people that don't know what this is just a massive sample layout chart of YDNA dealing with African groups or ethnic groups of different people groups in Africa. And the top part is dealing with the YDNA paternal haplogroups. So you have like A and B dealing with Hermetic groups. E1A, E1B1A, E1B1B, E2 is dealing with Abrahamic grouping of people, with E1A dealing with Ishmaelites, E1B1A dealing with Hebrew Israelites, E1B1B dealing with Shemitic Edomites, E2 dealing with Midianites, J, R1B, T, and O. There's an O somewhere. There's an O. There's a R, A, I. Where's the O? There go the O. All these groups are dealing with Japhetic people from J to T, all Japhetic groups of people with various skin types and with various complexion types. So, real quick, I wanted to just go to the Beha people that we just saw of the one old guy with a brown red or red brown complexion. As you can see, ethnic group would be like Cushitic language, Afro-Asiatic, which means Shemitic language, even though these are Hermetic people. But technically, the language is a common language, variation of Hebraic language concepts. So the first two grouping, which is dealing with Hamitic groups of people, is very low or no sample count of information. So you have 0, you have E1A, 0, E1B1A, which is Hebrew Israelite. YDNA grouping is 0, but E1B is at a 50%, and then you have E2 0, and then you have J, R1, and 0. So J is at a little bit over a third of the percentage collected. And this is what is common among a lot of the Ethiopian groups. Um, Let me see if the Oromo people. Oromo people, as you can see, I think on this one, this is where the information wasn't supplied accurately. You know, they just left it blanked. So, Oromo, as you can see, the Hamitic grouping, low percentages, Ishmaelite, 0. And then for the Israelite, you see is blank, but then the Edom is high, and then the other grouping just varies. Now, these two things is probably vice versa because the commercial DNA company was saying that this was a E1B1 C grouping, like a very late grouping of Edom. Was it a late grouping or early? Or they had something C. It was like a E1 B1 B1C grouping, and then the government grouping ISOG GG, um, who use information from family tree as well. They just labeled this group uh, E1B1A uh, to E1B1A2. So it was like a conflict in the information. And so eventually on this video, we're going to get into that M329 information. But I just wanted to show you that because they left it blank, and I believe most likely that's like a vice versa. This is like formerly they thought this was a Edomite grouping when it's a grouping dealing with um, a latter grouping of the Hebrew Israelite E1B1A branching. Anything else? And for people that don't know, so once again, Edom, YDNA is E1B1B. So this is what we are looking at. Let me scroll down. Like a high percentage of E1B1B is 80. Like this is probably not the highest, but 80 is a good percentage. So we scroll across. Who is it? The Berbers. Okay. So this is dealing with the Moroccan people, Moroccan, and a lot of the people in the Maghreb region, like Tunisia, um, Algeria, Libya, you know, some parts of Egypt, you know, Western Sahara. These are the Berber clans of people. The people that a lot of our people tend to get confused as Arabs or Bedouins, but these are just um, North African people that are Edomites, you know, and they have the complexion type of that old man that I showed you. So let's see, and then so E1B1B would be dealing with Edom. And now we go to the white people of South Africa, and we find that. South African whites, okay. Indo-European, we scroll. So as you can see, these people have percentages low, going into uh, genetic groups. So as you can see, you have Hamitic percentages 0, and then you have Ishmael, Israel, low percentages, and then you have Edom 9.6, then E2 nothing, but then you have uh, J 3.8, R1 51.6, and then others 33.8. So that's your white people. So white people, not all white people are Edomites, or Edomites are not all white people. Anything else? Let's go to my people group. As you can see, the Yoruba people. Um, a lot of missing information, but as you can see, E1B1A, high percentages, and then you have some other data, but yeah, I think they go, well, at a certain point when this is so high, it doesn't really matter about the other information. Um, Closest relative, who is my closest relative? Oh yeah, the Ashanti people. Let's go to the Ashanti people, if they are here, or Ghana. But are the Ashanti people here? No, they don't have the Ashanti people. So we go to Ghana. Ghana, as you can see, Hamitic grouping 0, E1A 2.2, E1B1A 92.3, and then Edom 1.1, R1 1.1. Okay. Was there anything else I wanted to look at on here? E2, Kenya. I think I wanted to go here. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Guess not. Maybe here. Uh-oh. Well, I guess I'll go back. And now we'll get into this information then. I was gonna just get into the whole haplogroup layout on ISOGG, but it wouldn't come out. I have it on here, but it'll take a while for me to find it. But I have this. This is just an overall research on Ethiopia. I googled a certain catchphrase, and this came up, and I have no idea what it's exactly dealing with. I just um, knew that it contained, mtDNA information or other DNA information. So, as you can see, this is Ethiopia, mitochondrial DNA heritage, tracking gene flow across and around the gate of tears. So, when it comes to mtDNA information, you have a L group. The L group is dealing with grouping of people in Africa. You have branches from L that's dealing with um, the Levant the Levant region, which is M and N. But in general, L would be the representation of uh, a Hermetic group, or L0, L5 would be Hermetic grouping of people. L1 would be Ishmaelite, L2 Israelite, L3 Edomite, L4 Midianite, Night, L5 latter grouping of Hamitic people or Hamitic women. And L6 would be a later grouping of Edomite women. And then from the L6, you have a branching of M. M would be dealing with your last grouping of Shemitic people, dealing with Elam. And then after that, you have N, dealing with the different women of Japhet. So, so I don't know if they get into certain information about white DNA. Let's see. The Semitic speaking Asumites or Habash, the Abyssinians, had their capital city Assam in the western part of the province of Tigray. During the first 6 centuries AD, they controlled territories north to Upper Egypt, east to the Gulf of Aden and southern Arabia, south to the Omo River, and west to the Kushite kingdom of Miro. Uh, the Antonym Ethiopians, the people with the burnt face, was coined by the Greeks. Okay, we know that. Okay, although it may originally have been applied to the Nubians, who were part of the Kushite kingdom, the Arabs, and as you can see, this is the reference of Arabs. So right here, they're actually just talking about the Berbers, the Arabs, the Bedouins, those people in the Middle East today now are not the people that they are trying to reference. especially with those with the people with the women group or the people group before. You know, those markers. Yes, you have the N, but in that region, the irony is, they have J, the same white DNA, J grouping, Japhetic guys, or in the Middle East region. The same with the mtDNA, Japhetic women. There's a J grouping of Japhetic women in that region as well. So these are the Berbers or the Edomites that controlled the sub-Sahara slave trade. So that's what they are talking about. And this is what I wanted to get people, minds and thoughts around on these categories and um, picturing people types or people groups. So we could be mindful of exactly who they are talking about. So it's not the Arabs because these Arabs, the Arab people, are not Ishmaelites. Those Arabs that's that are Saudi royalty, they are closely related to the British people. So those are just Ottoman Turks and Khazar- Khazarians or Caucasians. Either way, the pale complexion people from the Black Sea, Georgian region that relocated um, to the Middle East, claiming to be all the people, Canaanites, Israelites, and Ishmaelites. I think that's all the information. The Falacha Jews are dealing with just Hamitic people, so there go the M and the O, or the M and the N. Was there any YDNA information? No. It goes into different mtDNA groups. I got talked about before. L0, Hamitic, L1, Ishmaelite, L2, Israelite, L3, Edomite. And then it goes into these figures or these charts. Let's see. These are those branches. L2. So you would see the same thing dealing with the YDNA. The only thing, so I'm getting better at this mtDNA information. The only thing that I gotta get better at knowing are their defining mutations. Like that's gonna be a while. So, and I think that's about it with this one. If it's not gonna get into the YDNA, yeah. But as you can see, it goes into different detailed branches of Edom. So other than that, I guess I'll back out. Um, Let me see if I could find. I might have some information on M329. No, nope. I thought it was on this one. Or maybe it is. Let me see if they updated anything. They didn't update. No. But yeah, all these are E1B1A groups. The different. So what you're looking at right here are all the tribes of Israel, starting with this E1B1A, 1A, 1A1. So all these are the different tribes of Israel. You have Reuben, and then for everybody that want to know who's Judah, this rare group of people right here, M149, that's this E1B1A, 1A, 1C. My people group, somewhere up here. Okay, here we go. Gadite U186. Let's see. The tribe of Dan is M155. And that's about it. The Benjamin at the bottom with the addition of M329 at the bottom right here. And then you have Joseph above Benjamin. Who else? I should know this already. But yeah, a lot of these groupings, I was able to find at least one ethnic group dealing with all these groups of people on the YDNA side. So that's the interesting thing that I put together. Besides, you know, a overall grouping of the tribes. With this information, I put the tribes with their DNA group in at least one ethnic group. Now, some of these groupings, due to the heavy sample and the populace of the group, of course, they're gonna have multiple ethnic groups, but some of them are just rare groups of people, and so I just have like just one ethnic group for some of the tribes. And some of these tribes are split groups of other ethnic groups that are dealing with mostly heathens, and then you have percentages of Israelites among them. Um, I may edit my information to put those groups of people with stars nearby the ethnic group. Other than that, I try my best to do the ethnic groups that was just full of um, Israelites, even if the grouping is a split group of different tribes of Israel. So that was my goal. So um, hopefully I'll be able to share that information as well. But it looks like that's about it. And then I was doing research on the B vitamins so I can maintain my health. Other than that, I think that's about it with this video. I thought I was gonna be able to get into some more information. Maybe I can. Let me see something. Oh, never mind. Never mind. All right, with that information, with this information dealing with um, Ethiopia, um, I'm gonna continue to revisit a lot of this information dealing with Ethiopia and E1B1B because I think it's needed. I think we should be in a understanding of E1B1A is dealing with the wide grouping of Hebrew Israelite. But now we gotta get into the information and the understanding of E1B1B dealing with Edom. And then once that information is better understood, we get into the mtDNA information. Even though um, we are already going towards that direction with just knowing this information about both sides and just understanding that we have to be, closely related, um, corresponding groupings of our people. We gotta be E1B1A and the L2 grouping of Israelite people, connecting our gene pool together as sacred, holy people. Um, and yes, I'm not the greatest uh, Bible uh, scriptural precept person, but I know things about law and so on, and I know that we are supposed to be marrying within our tribe. I know that, especially the priesthood with Levi. I know that. So nobody in the comment section, y'all don't have to remind me of that. That's like Hebrew Israelite 102. 101 is basic things that we need to know. The curses of Deuteronomy 28. That's um, Hebrew Israelite 101. The conducting ourselves and knowing certain parts of the law should be Hebrew Israelite 102. So that's 102. And DNA, this is where we get into the DNA part to where we go, okay, well, if that's the case, if I need to pair up with women from my tribe, exactly what ethnic group would that be? What um I don't know if this is a good reference. I'm trying to think. Um, well, I guess I won't use the reference, but there's no um, proper way of knowing who exactly you're getting involved with. So at least with DNA, we know as much as we need to know about our people and other people. So yes, it would be ideal to marry a woman from your own tribe, even if you have like an ethnic group that you are a part of. When you go and do your DNA test, like I did, Yoruba, a lot of the Yoruban women are different ethnic groups to begin with, let alone another tribe. So um, we have to just be mindful of, you know, certain things that we want to understand and observe about the law may or may not be properly um, suitable for what's given at that moment for your understanding, because a lot of married people that are in the truth could be married to heathen women, but yet these women look like African American women, but they don't know unless they did a DNA test, or a lot of the camps, a lot of them, they don't do anything dealing with DNA at all unless um, there's a court case or um, a a case dealing with custody of the children. They wouldn't know anything about haplogroup. So at least with this information, we could get you know close to the understanding that we need to know about these things, especially if you do want to keep the law and if you feel it's necessary to marry within your tribal group at this point in time. Yeah, if you agree to doing it and your significant other agree to doing it, but you just have to be mindful, research the company, be mindful that the result might not be what you want, and you deal with the results. That's a part of life, and that's a part of being a Hebrew Israelite. You gotta accept what is given about what we know and what we don't know. So, and with that being said, once again, all praise to the Most High Yahweh and to His Son, my brother, Amashiach Yahushai. Peace and blessings once again to my brothers and sisters from the Israelite tribes. Once again, thank y'all for the views and for the comment. And like always, I will get to those comments as soon as possible with either a reply or a video. So thank y'all once again.